big changes to the forecast track. It's no longer likely to be a Category 3 or major hurricane as it passes by North Carolina. I'll show you what that means.
And waves are growing in Hatteras. The plea to everyone from Dare County emergency officials.
And breaking news, investigators released new information about the death of a Fuquay Arena teen. What witnesses say Giovanni Pelletier yelled before jumping out of a vehicle in Florida. Satellite imagery captured this stunning view of Hurricane Erin.
Wow.
Watch as lightning strikes around the powerful eye of the storm. Hurricane Erin is likely to bring storm surge flooding to the Outer Banks starting late tomorrow. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Levingood. Thank you so much for joining us. Rip current danger and gusty winds are a few of the other impacts on our coast. Right now, Erin is a Category 2 storm, moving at 9 miles per hour with 105 miles per hour winds. Erin is less than 700 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras.
We have live team coverage from the Triangle to the coast. We begin with Elizabeth Gardner and the newest stats on Erin and what it means for our coast. Elizabeth.
And the biggest thing coming out of the 11 o'clock advisory is it's no longer a Category 3, nor is it forecast to be a major hurricane as it passes by North Carolina. That's certainly great news. The other news that came out of the 11 o'clock advisory is that we now have a tropical storm warning for most of the Outer Banks. Earlier, it was a tropical storm watch. Of course, it means the same thing. It just means that the timetable is closer now. It is likely to start as we get into the day tomorrow and all the way through Thursday. That's when we'll see the tropical storm force winds as well as some of the flooding. And we'll go over all of those things that we're expecting from this storm. But let's take a quick look at the 11 o'clock advisory. 690 miles southeast of Hatteras is where the center of circulation is right now, moving northwest at 9 with winds at 105. And so that's down 10 miles per hour from the 8 o'clock advisory. So it does continue to weaken, and that's definitely good news. Now, the previous track that we had at 5 a.m. had it sort of shifting between Category 2 and 3, and this has it as a bit of a weaker storm, and obviously that is good news for us. Now, what's already been happening is high rip current danger along the coast. That doesn't really change very much with the strength of the storm. Even yesterday, the lifeguards there at Wrightsville Beach were pulling dozens and dozens of people out of the water. It is now time to stay out of the water. Our coastal impacts from this storm will be high rip current danger, of course. Heavy surf will have rip current danger, of course, along with the fact that we're going to have some beach erosion. We'll have overwash, most likely, that could make Highway 12 impassable. And we'll also have storm surge, 2 to 4 feet, which could cause some flooding and some tropical storm force winds. We'll talk about how strong the winds could be coming up.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, we want to take another look at Hatteras right now. Things looking okay right now. There is some pretty rough surf, but we did hear from the Dare County emergency manager saying that do not take the risk. You need to take the storm seriously. Please do not go in the water. Stay out of the ocean. You just heard Elizabeth talking a little bit about storm surge and the tides impacting vulnerable parts of Highway 12. I do want to show you some pictures here right now. These are live pictures of different parts of Highway 12, and these are areas that get severely impacted when a storm rolls through. So that is why a lot of that area was under a mandatory evacuation. Nobody was allowed to stay. They want to get everybody out because of the impacts from the storm surge. We are going to stay on top of all of this and hopefully get out live to Sean Gallagher at some point. He is there in Hatteras, and we will keep you updated here in the Live Center as well.
Want to see how things are developing out there. Thank you, Michelle. Hurricane Erin may not be a Category 5 storm anymore, but folks, it is huge. And WRAL meteorologist Chris Michaels explains what's happening to increase its size.
This process is something that's called the eye wall replacement cycle. This happens a lot of times when you have these really strong hurricanes, and it's kind of like a figure skater. When they bring their arms in, they spin really quickly, but in order to keep spinning, they have to let their arms out, and as they do so, they spin a little slower. So here's the reason. You've got Erin that was a Category 5 Saturday, and it's really tough to maintain that level of energy, so these hurricanes naturally will spread their energy outward, and they do so through these eye wall replacements. So yesterday morning, you saw the eye was really neatly defined. As the cycle began, the eye got shut off. The category of the storm decreased between yesterday and today, but in the process, it became larger. So that's why we expect the wind to go hundreds of miles outside the cone. The cone is just anywhere that the center of the storm can go. But in the yellows, your tropical storm force wind gusts that could go from west to east about a distance of 700 miles extending toward our coastline. Meanwhile, here we're not expecting that level of wind, but as we head toward Thursday, it might be a little bit windier than your average August day. Near and to the east of I-95 could see wind gusts anywhere from 25 to perhaps as strong as 35 miles per hour.
Chris, thank you. Aaron has already prompted mandatory evacuations along the Outer Banks, where waves could reach 20 feet high. The only highway connecting the islands will likely become impassable from the ocean overwash in the coming days. Visitors and residents on Hatteras and Ocracoke Islands are being ordered to leave. Some locals say they are hunkering down.
We've been through it many times, and we're accustomed to the roads flooding. And the old timers here, feel like this is not going to be the big one.
Tropical storm conditions are possible in the Outer Banks by late tomorrow. You can always track Hurricane Aaron with the WRAL weather app. Zoom in, find the day-by-day forecast, location, and strength of the storm.
We are less than 1 week away from the start of school in Wake County, and parents, your child's school lunch will be more expensive than last year. We first reported about this increase back in June. School breakfasts and lunch prices are going up 25 cents per meal, and this marks the fourth school year in a row the district has raised the prices. Tiffany Lawrence with Child Nutrition Services explains why higher costs on their end are getting passed on to students and families.
We have some increased costs, in particular with our food costs and the cost of delivering products to our building. So we made some decisions at the school board meeting to increase prices. Students and parents are always welcome to apply for free and reduced lunch.
Parents can apply for free and reduced lunch throughout the entire school year, in fact. WRAL Education Insider Emily Walkenhorst has a breakdown of this story, and you'll find that on WRAL.com.
New data shows Wake County yellow bus routes will be fully staffed again this year. Hundreds of students did not have an on-time ride to school because of a driver shortage last school year. Wake schools will have a little more than 600 drivers. The district also raised bus driver pay to at least $20 an hour, and that's more than most counties. The district also has a full-time recruiter for bus drivers. WRAL has you covered for the start of the new school year. Find out how to transition your kids back into a sleep routine, the rules of the road around school buses, and more on WRAL.com. Search the words back to school.
Volunteers helped restock NC Central's campus food pantry today, and the restock was made possible by Food Lions Feeds. That's the grocery chain's hunger relief program. And they donated non-perishable food items to make sure students facing food insecurity can start the new year on the right foot.
We have low housing, so people are tending to move off campus and live in apartments, and that's already a high bill. So just to have this available, it can save money and help people continue their education.
The NCCU Campus Pantry is a free resource for all members of the university, including students, faculty, and staff too.
People who need to update their voter registration are beginning to get letters from the State Board of Elections. This stems from a lawsuit from the Trump administration challenging North Carolina's voter registration rules. Incomplete registrations were at the center of a state Supreme Court race. Republican candidate Jefferson Griffin tried to throw out tens of thousands of ballots from last year's election. More than 80,000 people will have to update their voter registration. President Trump says he wants to ban mail-in voting by the 2026 midterm elections. The pledge to ban mail-in voting comes after the president previously bashed the process, claiming that it is corrupt and is susceptible to voter fraud. Problem is, the U.S. Constitution says states have the authority to regulate elections, and that mail-in rule can only be changed by Congress.
Right-wing cable channel Newsmax agreed to pay Dominion Voting Systems a $67 million settlement. The channel claimed that Dominion rigged the 2020 election. And so Newsmax will pay $27 million this month and another $40 million in the next 2 years. But there's no indication that Newsmax will offer a public apology or acknowledge its false claims that Dominion rigged the 2020 presidential election. Fox News Channel actually paid $787 million to settle a similar lawsuit back in 2023.
Some of Raleigh's online water services will be unavailable for a few days. Starting this Thursday, you won't be able to pay your water bills online, ask for financial assistance, or make a service request. The city is doing some system maintenance through Saturday. You can still pay in person, and if you prefer to wait for online services to come back, the city will not charge you a late fee.
Today, North Carolina's First Lady, Anna Stein, helped highlight the state's first mobile opioid treatment program. And she did this during a ribbon-cutting ceremony meant to bring focus to the effort to reduce opioid use and related deaths. The OTPs are state and federally licensed programs. And besides medications for recovery, the units also provide counseling, case management, and peer support services.
Mobile clinic really does enable people who maybe can't get to the clinic to be able to access treatment without having to go to the hub there in North Raleigh.
I mean, these new flexibilities have made it easier for patients to remain in treatment. And that's the important thing.
And so this unit is currently stationed Monday through Friday at Healing Transitions in Raleigh. It provides shelter, food, and non-medical detox for people struggling with substance abuse.
Lay of the land. You can make your voice heard on what should be developed on 136 acres of Lake Crabtree land. The discussion tonight for what's next for the property.
And reshaping resumes with AI, how you can upgrade selling yourself during that next big job interview.
Protecting your students, the changes that could be coming to keep children safe during emergencies at Wake County schools.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
Right now, you're looking live at Wrightsville Beach, where there is a no swim advisory for today and the rest of the week. You see some people knee deep in the water there, but hope that's as far as it goes as Aaron approaches, bringing dangerous conditions to our coast. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
Today is the first chance to weigh in on a new project near RDU. The RDU Airport Authority plans to expand more than 100 acres of land. We have WRAL's Laura Levine here to explain what's in the works. And so, Laura, the people behind this, they want the public to help shape the vision for this future of the space.
Chris, yes, all eyes on this, or the process to get to this, right? The RDU Airport Authority wants to partner with Wake County to transform parts of Lake Crabtree Park into what they're calling a recreation and wellness destination. But first, they need to hear from the community to bring this vision to life. So some big ideas for parts of the more than 130 acres of land by Lake Crabtree Park could be developed into the Triangle's next entertainment hub. The airport is collaborating with the developer Pacific Elm Properties to create a unique destination that they say serves the community, respects the natural character of the site, and generates revenue for the airport. Airport Authority President Michael Landgut tells us possible features of the project include water and land sports, family-focused activities, retail, food and beverage establishments, and lodging.
Don't forget, Wake County also leases 151 acres right across Interstate I-40 that they have for mountain bike trails. And this will also complement the 5,000 acres of Umstead State Park. So it's really trying to be very thoughtful, making sure we're developing those things that complement almost 6,000 acres worth of recreational opportunity that we have for our community.
There will be 3 public workshops, and he says they will really be a progression of the meetings, bouncing off of those concepts from the previous workshop. So you want to be sure that you at least make it to one of those meetings. Today's meeting starts at 4 p.m. at the Cary Senior Center Ballroom.
All right, thank you, Laura. The Durham City Council approved new plans to redevelop Northgate Mall, and the vote was unanimous. The council worked on a plan for several years, and some ideas for that location include new retail stores and affordable housing. But the site has sat vacant for years.
People are opening their hearts and pets, finding homes during this month's Clear the Shelters event. At Tilted Acres Rescue and Adoptions, they are helping animals across. AI is changing the way we apply for jobs and the way companies hire. More companies admit to using AI tools to weed out applicants, but the technology can also help job seekers create cover letters and resumes. Jen Sullivan breaks down the pros and cons of using AI when applying for a job.
If you're in the market for a new job, be patient. It can take a while to get hired.
It can be really difficult to get yourself seen and get yourself noticed.
Dawn Fay with recruiting firm Robert Half says it can take up to 6 months to land a new job. And Resume Builder estimates 82% of companies are now using AI to review resumes.
Hurricane Erin is likely to bring storm surge flooding to the Outer Banks starting late tomorrow. Rip current danger and gusty winds, well, they are a few of the other impacts on our coast.
We have live team coverage from the Triangle to the coast. We begin with Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at the latest Erin update.
We definitely had some changes in the 11 o'clock advisory. Sometimes, from advisory to advisory, there's not that much that changes, but it continues to weaken. Winds are now down to 105. That's still a Category 2 storm, but the forecast path was very different, and I'll show you that in just a second. First of all, it is 690 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras. It is moving slightly faster instead of 7 miles per hour, at 9 miles per hour to the northwest. It's going to make that turn to the north. One big thing, of course, we saw the tropical storm watch upgraded to a tropical storm warning. Not surprising. That includes all of the Outer Banks, gusts up to 60 miles per hour, storm surge 2 to 4 feet, and certainly high dangerous surf along most of the Outer Banks. Let's take a look at that forecast path. It does make that northerly turn and then that northeast turn away from the United States. But instead of bumping back up to Category 3 at some points along the forecast path, we're only seeing it Category 2. So it does weaken. It bumps back up to 110 by 8 a.m. on Thursday. It's likely late Wednesday, early Thursday is when it will come the closest to Cape Hatteras. And coming up in just a few minutes, I'll show you by miles just how close it gets.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A no swimming advisory is in effect until Friday in Wrightsville Beach due to strong rip. Right now, we're going to take you back to Wrightsville Beach, where we've learned rescue crews just pulled 2 people from the water. Heidi Kirk is there. Heidi, what were you able to see?
Well, Renee, there's a lot going on out here right now. We've been telling you all day long about the threats of those rip currents, and I want to take you straight out to where that rescue is wrapping up here on Wrightsville Beach as we speak. We saw one of the teams come off the lifeguard stand, jump on one of their little vehicles, drive it out there and pull 2 different people out of the water. And again, there is an advisory on this beach. They've been warning people for the last few days, do not get in the water if you can help it. And so far today, they say they've already seen 10 to 12 rescues. Now, that's an extremely high number, given that just 45 minutes to an hour ago, the Ocean Rescue Director told us that there had only been 4. So it is climbing as we speak, and they're continuing to push out that warning. Don't get in the water. And again, I'll remind you, there were 60 or 70 of these water rescues yesterday. So as we continue to push this information out, it might look like a beautiful day out here, but we do know that the water is quite dangerous. Even if you want to get in when it's very hot and sunny out here, it's a good idea not to, because that is what can happen. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live on Wrightsville Beach.
Yeah, we still see plenty of people out there, so it's quite possible more rescues could happen. Thank you, Heidi. Soaring school supplies for back to school. It's already expensive, but this year, tariffs are driving prices even higher. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur explains where the best deals are this year to keep you on budget.
Dipping into new waters, a restaurant launches a menu just for H2O. Why the owner is tapping into the new business venture. Families are expected to spend hundreds of dollars on new school supplies, and they have a new factor to contend this year.
And so
tariffs.
Tariffs, very important. And 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shares just how much more your child's back to school necessities could cost and what you can do to keep your budget in check.
According to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, tariff rates on typical back-to-school items went from 5% to 18% this year. And as we know, those costs typically get passed on to the consumer. Well, here's how you can save some money and take some power back. First, shop your supply cabinet. Your family probably already has plenty of folders, pencils, and backpacks laying around and ready to be used. While your child may not have the trendiest item, they will be making a more environmentally and economically friendly choice. Next, remember our viewing area is very generous. Check with your district for supply drives. For example, this Saturday in Fayetteville, Big Irv Barbecue and 910 Sweets will host a book bag and school supply giveaway starting at 1 p.m. And shop around. You can save a lot of money just by going to the right store. This year, 5 on Your Side went to 6 stores and compared prices of the same items. Dollar Tree and Target offered the most inexpensive supplies. Get this, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons is $2.30 on Amazon, but just 50 cents at Target and Walmart. While we don't want to become too dependent on AI, it can help in a pinch. For example, it told me that I could find good deals on colored pencils at Target and Staples for 99 cents. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
Happening today, Wake County Public Health is offering families and students up-to-date vaccines. The department is hosting a back-to-school vaccine clinic for rising kindergarten, 7th, and 12th grade students. And today's clinic will be at the Southern Regional Center in Fuquay Arena. That'll be from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. It's one of several clinics Wake County Public Health is hosting. The next one will be on September 2nd in Wake Forest. And just a reminder, WRAL has you covered for the start of the new school year. You can find out how to transition your kids back into that sleep routine, the rules of the road around school buses, and so much more over on WRAL.com. Just search the words back to school.
Auburn is honoring one of its greatest players, even though he was only there for 1 year. Auburn Athletics will retire Cam Newton's number 2 jersey during the Tiger Showdown with Georgia on October 11th. Newton led Auburn to a perfect 14-0 season in 2010. He led the Tigers to a national championship and became a Heisman Trophy winner. Newton earned Rookie of the Year, League MVP, and a trip to the Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers. And the Carolina Panthers have their 3rd and final preseason game at home this Thursday. You can watch that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers right here on WRAL Thursday at 7 p.m.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk tropics with Elizabeth Gardner. Elizabeth, this is the first hurricane of the named hurricane of the season. And what's interesting is we've seen it intensify. We've seen it kind of die down in power. And now it's what, Category 2?
Category 2, and it's not likely to regain major hurricane strength as it moves past North Carolina. So that's good news. That was the big takeaway from the 11 o'clock advisory. It's moving northwest at 9. It's going to make that northerly turn. Winds at 105. So it's steadily weakened as we've gotten through the morning. Now, it may intensify a little bit. As a matter of fact, we take a look at 8 p.m. Wednesday, 8 a.m. Thursday with the winds at 110. That's just 5 miles per hour faster than it is right now. That's excellent news, but it is still a Category 2 storm sitting offshore. That's another thing that we're thankful for. It does not look like it's going to make landfall. The models have been consistently showing it offshore. So that is another piece of good news. This is a look at where the path is, however, and you can follow that. But look at how much wider the actual storm is. Some of those rain bands are going to extend, up to 200 miles away from the center of the storm. And that's why we're looking at some potential impacts for us along the coast. Let's take a look at what's happening right now at Carolina Beach. We looked at this a little bit earlier. It looks like people are doing really well. Maybe there's a surfer out there, but for the most part, everybody in this live view is maybe knee deep in the water, and they're definitely following the instructions, the recommendations. Do not get in the water. Again, Heidi Kirk was talking about just a few minutes ago, 60 to 70 people rescued at Wrightsville Beach yesterday. Let's follow the path of the storm here on Futurecast. We'll move it up and pause it about 11 a.m. tomorrow, and you can see it still sitting just east of Georgia. It moves up off the coast of North Carolina by Thursday around the middle of the afternoon. At that point, the center of circulation is about 200 miles off of Cape Hatteras, and so that's as close as it's likely to get. But we'll still have a lot of rain bands. Right now, we're expecting the rain bands to produce some flooding, some gusty winds, but they could also produce some tornadoes. This is not something that's likely to stretch very far inland, but definitely those far eastern counties could see some isolated tornadoes as well as some heavy rain. By the time we get to Friday at 8 a.m., it's really pulling away from the United States, which is good news. So this is going to be sort of a Wednesday night, Thursday event for us. Likely to see gusts to 60 miles per hour here in the tropical storm warning area. Storm surge at 2 to 4 feet, and of course, high surf and high rip current danger. How about those winds? We may end up seeing some gusts up to 55 to 60 miles per hour right along the Outer Banks. A little lower for, say, Beaufort to Wilmington, maybe 35 to 40. For our area, it's probably going to be 25 to to 30, maybe some isolated 35-mile-per-hour gusts. We also have a storm surge warning for the Outer Banks, 2 to 4 feet. And of course, the elevation along the Outer Banks is so small, 2 to 4 feet, likely to cause roads to close. Roads will be flooded. Some homes and businesses may be damaged by that flooding. Very high surf, just offshore, 15 to 20 plus feet. So again, we're worried about the rip current danger, heavy surf, beach erosion, storm surge flooding, parts of Highway 12 becoming impassable, and those tropical storm force gusts. What we're seeing this afternoon, not bad. We're seeing a lot of cloud cover, keeping us cool at 83. Our chance for showers and storms today is minimal, and we're looking at a nice cool week ahead. Our next best chance of storms doesn't really come until Sunday and Monday.
Global trend. A Michelin Guide listed restaurant in England is catering to people moving away from alcoholic beverages. How its menu is tapping in on the trend. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines that we're following today. The Outer Banks is preparing for Hurricane Erin, and evacuation orders are in effect. A tropical storm warning is now in place, and the storm is expected to cause flooding and coastal erosion. And dozens of people have been rescued from rip currents along the coast so far.
Law enforcement in Florida gave an update on the death investigation of a Fuquay-Varina 18-year-old who is missing for a week. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office played 2 videos from cameras in the area where Giovanni Pelletier vanished on August 1st. They show Pelletier walking along a highway and then walking down a steep embankment near the pond where his body was found. Investigators say they are still waiting on the medical examiner to determine the cause of death and for the toxicology report to come back.
Today is the first chance to weigh in on a new project near RDU. The Airport Authority wants to build a recreation and wellness destination on 136 acres of airport land. That plot of land used to be part of Lake Crabtree Park. There will be 3 public workshops, and the meeting starts at 4 p.m. at the Cary Senior Center.
Sommeliers can help you pair wine with food. Now, a restaurant in England is helping customers find the perfect bottled water on the menu. A Michelin Guide listed restaurant in Northern England has an entire menu of bottled water. It's the first of its kind in the UK. The owner decided to tap in on the trend as more people are moving away from alcohol. So starting Friday, customers can choose from a variety of bottled water priced between $6 and $26. And there is also complimentary tap water if you prefer that.
Now, so what is it? Like, here's the finest bottle of Dasani? Like, how does that? Okay, all right.
Maybe that's one offering.
Okay, I guess that's a thing there. All right, so our pet of the day is a stunning German Shepherd with the heart of a lapdog. Meet Hazel. Volunteers at the Red Barn Rescue says that Hazel was underweight and unsure when she arrived, but now she is thriving both physically and, get this, emotionally too. She's very affectionate with people and always happy to greet folks with a wagging tail and lots of love. Hazel gets along with other dogs, but she needs a home without cats. So that part's important. You can apply at redbarnrescue.com to meet her.
Such a happy face. Student safety ahead of the new school year. Our state's largest school system is updating its emergency response protocol. What new procedures Wake County Schools plans to start? We'll tell you about it coming up this afternoon at 4.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL with your next local news update in about 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. We leave you with a live look at Wrightsville Beach. Have a great day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.